Shalom, shalom. Today will be Ezekiel 41 through 45. And he brought me into the Hakal, and he measured the doorpost 6 cubits wide on one side and 6 cubits wide on the other side, the width of the tent. And the entrance was 10 cubits wide, and the side walls of the entrance were 5 cubits on this side and 5 cubits on the other side. And he measured its length 40 cubits and 20 cubits wide. And he went inside and measured the doorpost 2 cubits, and the entrance 6 cubits high, and the width of the entrance 7 cubits. And he measured the length 20 cubits, and the width 20 cubits to the front of the Hakal. And he said to me, This is the most set apart place. And he measured the wall of the house 6 cubits, and the width of each side room all around the house was 4 cubits on every side. And the side rooms were on 3 levels, one above the other, 30 rooms on each level. They rested on ledges, which were for the side rooms all around, to be supported, but not fastened to the wall of the house. And there was a broadening and a wide winding upward for the side rooms. The winding around the house went up like steps, and the width of the structure increased as one went up from the lowest level to the highest by the way of the middle one. And I saw the height all around the house, the foundation of the side rooms, a rod's length of 6 cubits. The thickness of the outer wall of the side rooms was 5 cubits, and that which was left between the side rooms of the house and the rooms was a width of 20 cubits all around the house on every side. And the door of the side room was toward the open space, one door toward the north and another toward the south. And the width of the place of the open space was 5 cubits all around. And the building that was in front of the separate place at the side toward the west was 70 cubits wide, and the wall of the building was 5 cubits thick all around, and its length 90 cubits. Then he measured the house 100 cubits long, and the separate place with the building and its walls were 100 cubits long, and the width of the front of the house and of the separate place eastward was 100 cubits. And he measured the length of the building to the front of the separate place behind it, and its galleries on one side and on the other side 100 cubits, as well as the inner Hakal and the porches of the courtyard, the doorpost and the narrowed window frames and the galleries all around. Their 3 levels opposite the threshold were paneled with wood from the ground to the windows, and the windows were covered from the space above the door even to the inner house, as well as outside, and on every wall all around, inside and outside by measure. And it was made with cherubim and palm trees, and a palm tree between cherub and cherub. A cherub had 2 faces, so that the face of a man was toward a palm tree on one side, and the face of a young lion toward a palm tree on the other side. Made on all the house all around, from the floor to the separate space above the door, and on the wall to the Hakal, cherubim and palm trees were carved. The doorposts of the Hakal were square, and the front of the separate place, in the front of the set-apart place, the appearance of one was like the appearance of the other. The slaughter place was of wood, 3 cubits high, and its length 2 cubits, and its corners and its length and its sides were of wood. And he said to me, This is the table that is before Yahweh. And the Hakal and the set-apart place had 2 doors, and each of the doors had 2 panels, 2 folding panels, 2 panels for one door and 2 panels for the other door. And cherubim and palm trees were carved on the doors of the Hakal like those carved on the walls, and thick wood was on the front of the porch outside. And narrowed window frames and palm trees were on one side and on the other, on the sides of the porch and on the side rooms of the house, and thick wood. And he brought me out into the outer courtyard, the way toward the north. And he brought me into the room which was opposite the separate place, and which was opposite the building to the north. Along the length, which was 100 cubits, was the north door. The width was 50 cubits. Opposite the inner courtyard of 20 cubits, and opposite the pavement of the outer courtyard gallery against gallery in 3 levels. Before the rooms toward the inside was a walk 10 cubits wide, a way of 1 cubit, and their doors were to the north. And the upper rooms were shorter because the galleries took away space from them more than from the lower and middle levels of the building. For they were in 3 levels and had no columns like the columns of the courtyards, so the upper level was set back more than the lower and middle levels from the ground up. As for the outer wall by the side of the rooms toward the outer courtyard facing the rooms, its length was 50 cubits. For the length of the rooms toward the outer courtyard was 50 cubits, and that facing the Hakal was 100 cubits. And below these rooms was the entrance of the east, and as one enters them from the outer courtyard, in the thickness of the wall of the courtyard toward the east, opposite the separate place and opposite the building were rooms. And the way in front of them was like the appearance of the rooms which were toward the north, as long and as wide as the others. And all their exits and entrances were according to plan. And according to the doors of the rooms that were toward the south, there was a door in front of the way. There, the way in the front of the wall toward the east, as one enters them. And he said to me, the north rooms and the south rooms, which are opposite the separate place, are the set apart rooms where the priests who approach Yahweh eat the most set apart offerings. There they place the most set apart items, and the grain offering, and the sin offering, and the guilt offering, for the place is set apart. When the priest enters, there is not to go out of the set apart room. They are not to go out of the set apart room into the outer courtyard, but leave their garments in which they attend there. For they are set apart, and shall put on their garments, and shall draw near to that which is for the people. And when he had ended measuring the inner house, he brought me out through the gate that faces east, and measured it all around. He measured the east side with the measuring rod, 500 rods by the measuring rod all around. He measured the north side, 500 rods by the measuring rod all around. He measured the south side, 500 rods by the measuring rod. He turned round to the west side and measured 500 rods by the measuring rod. On the 4 sides he measured it, and had a wall all around, 500 cubits long and 500 wide, to separate the set apart places from the common. And he led me to the gate facing east, and see the esteem of Elohim of Israel came from the way of the east, and his voice was like the sound of many waters, and the earth shone from his esteem, and it was like the appearance of the vision which I saw, like the vision which I saw when he came to destroy the city. And the visions were like the vision which I saw by the river Kabar, and I fell on my face. And the esteem of Yahweh came into the house by way of the gate facing east. And the Spirit took me up and brought me into the inner courtyard, and see, the esteem of Yahweh filled the house. And I heard someone speaking to me from the house, while a man stood beside me. And he said to me, Son of man, this is the place of my throne, and the place of the soles of my feet, when I dwell in the midst of the children of Israel forever. And the house of Israel shall no longer defile my set apart name, they nor their sovereigns, by their whoring and by their corpses of their sovereigns on their high places. When they placed their threshold by my threshold, and their doorpost by my doorpost, with a wall between them and me, they defiled my set apart name by the abominations which they have done. So I consumed them in my displeasure. Now let them put their whoring and their corpses of the sovereigns so far away from me. Now let them put their whoring and the corpses of their sovereigns far away from me, and I shall dwell in their midst forever. Son of man, explain the house to the house of Israel. And when they are ashamed of their crookedness, they shall measure the measurements. And since they shall be ashamed of all that they did, make known to them the design of the house and its structure, and its exits and its entrances, its entire design, and all its laws, and all its forms, and all its Torot. Torot also means instructions or laws. And write it down before their eyes, so that they observe its entire design and all its laws, and shall do them. This is the Torah of the house. Upon the mountaintop, all the boundary of it, all around, is most set apart. See, this is the Torah of the house. And these are the measurements of the slaughter place in cubits, the cubit being 1 cubit and a handbreadth, and the base 1 cubit high and 1 cubit wide, with a rim all around its edge on one span, and this is the upper part of the slaughter place. And from the base on the ground to the lower ledge 2 cubits, and the width of the ledge 1 cubit, and from the smaller ledge to the larger ledge 4 cubits, and the width of the ledge 1 cubit. And the hearth is 4 cubits high, and 4 horns extending upward from the slaughter place hearth. And the slaughter place hearth is 12 cubits long and 12 wide, square at its 4 corners. And the ledge is 14 long and 14 wide on its 4 sides, with a rim of half a cubit around it, and its base 1 cubit all around, and its steps face east. And he said to me, Son of man, thus said the Master Yahweh, these are the laws for the slaughter place on the day when it is made, for offering ascending offerings on it, and for sprinkling blood on it. And you shall give a young bull for a sin offering to the priests, the Levites, who are of the seed of Sadak, who approach unto me, declares the Master Yahweh. And you shall take some of its blood, and put it on the 4 corners of the slaughter place, on the 4 corners of the ledge, and on the rim around it, and shall cleanse it, and make atonement for it. And you shall take the bull of the sin offering, and shall burn it in the appointed place of the house, outside the set apart place. And on the 2nd day you bring a male goat, a perfect one, for a sin offering, and they shall cleanse the slaughter place as they cleansed it with the bull. When you have ended cleansing it with a young bull, a perfect one, and a ram from the flock, a perfect one, and you shall bring them before Yahweh, and the priest shall throw salt on them, and offer them up as an ascending offering to Yahweh. Prepare a goat for a sin offering daily for 7 days, and prepare a young bull and a ram from the flock, perfect ones. For 7 days they shall make atonement for the slaughter place, and cleanse it, and ordain it. And when these days are completed, it shall be on the 8th day and thereafter that the priests make your ascending offerings and your peace offerings on the slaughter place, and I shall accept you, declares the Master Yahweh. This makes me think about what the Jews are, or what Israel, what the Jews are currently doing in their efforts to rebuild the temple. I don't know, it's just kind of interesting. It's going to be when. It's going to be a spectacle if they do it right. It's going to be something worth seeing, for sure. But who knows? Anyway. And he brought me back to the outer gate of the set-apart place, which faces east, and it was shut. And Yahweh said to me, this gate is shut. It is not opened, and no one enters it, because Yahweh, Elohim of Israel, has entered by it, and it shall be shut. The prince, as prince, he sits in it to eat bread before Yahweh, coming in by way of the porch of the gate, and going out the same way. And he brought me by way of the north gate to the front of the house, and I looked and saw the esteem of Yahweh filled the house of Yahweh, and I fell on my face. And Yahweh said to me, Son of man, set your heart and see with your eyes and hear with your ears all that I tell you concerning all the laws of the house of Yahweh and all its Torot. And you shall set your heart to the entrance of the house with all the exits of the set-apart place, and shall say to the rebellious, to the house of Israel, thus said the Master Yahweh, O house of Israel, enough of all these abominations of yours, that you brought in sons of a foreigner, uncircumcised in heart and uncircumcised in flesh, to be in my set-apart place, to profane it, my house, that you brought near my food, the fat and the blood, and you broke my covenant because of all your abominations. And you did not guard the charge of that which is set apart to me, but you have set others to guard the charge of my set apart place for you. Thus said the Master Yahweh, no son of a foreigner, uncircumcised in heart or uncircumcised in flesh, comes into my set-apart place, even any son of a foreigner who is among the children of Israel. And the Levites who went far from me, when Israel went astray, who strayed away from me after their idols, they shall bear their crookedness. And they were attendants in my set-apart place, as gatekeepers of the house and attendants of the house, slaying the ascending offering and the slaughtering for the people, and standing before them to attend to them, because they attend to them before their idols and become a stumbling block of crookedness to the house of Israel. Therefore I have lifted my hand in an oath against them, declares the Master Yahweh, that they shall bear their crookedness and not come near me to serve as my priest, nor come near any of that which is set apart to me, nor into the most set apart place, and they shall bear their shame and their abominations which they have done. Yet I shall make them those who guard the duty of the house for all its work, and for all that has to be done in it. But the priests, the Levites, the sons of Zadok, who guarded the duty of my set-apart place when the children of Israel went astray from me, they shall draw near to me to serve me, and shall stand before me to bring to me the fat and the blood, declares the Master Yahweh. They shall enter my set-apart place, and they shall draw near to my table to serve me, and they shall guard my charge. And let it be, when they enter the gates of the inner courtyard, that they put on linen garments, and no wool shall come upon them while they attend within the gates of the inner courtyard or within the house. They shall have linen turbans on their heads and linen trousers on their bodies. They shall not gird themselves with sweat. And when they go out to the outer courtyard, to the people, they shall take off their garments in which they have attended, and shall leave them in the set-apart rooms, and shall put on other garments, and they shall not set the people apart in their set-apart garments. And their heads they shall not shave, nor shall they let their hair grow long. They shall keep their hair well trimmed. Cool. And no priest is to drink wine when he comes into the inner court. And they do not take as wife a widow or a divorced woman, but take maidens of the seed of the house of Israel, or widows of priests. And they are to teach my people the difference between the set apart and the profane, and make them know what is unclean and clean. And they are to stand as judges in a dispute, and judge it according to my right rulings. And they are to guard my Torah and my laws in all my appointed times, and they set apart my Sabbaths. And they are not to defile themselves by coming near a dead man, only for a father or mother, for a son or a daughter, for a brother or unmarried sister they defile themselves. And after his cleansing, they count 7 days for him. And on the day that he comes into the inner court of the set-apart place to attend in the set-apart place, he brings his sin offering, declares the Master Yahweh. And it shall be to them for an inheritance. I am their inheritance. And you give them no possession in Israel. I am their possession. The grain offering and the sin offering and the guilt offering they are to eat, and all that is dedicated in Israel is theirs. And the first of all the fruits of all, and every contribution of all your contributions belong to the priest. And the first of your ground meal you give to the priest, so that a blessing rests on your house. The priests are not to eat any bird or beast found dead or torn to pieces. Just based upon that statement there, I can totally see how people could be like, how we get the idea of Leviticus is only pertaining to the priest, because Ezekiel 44 references so much that all this stuff is for the priest. If you'll remember, we are to be priests and kings of our own homes. So yes, this may be referencing the literal house of Yahweh, the literal temple. Pretty sure this whole instruction is, they're going to teach us, yeah. I mean, come on, guys. If you're tracking, you're tracking. If you're not, you're not. I love you guys. When you divide the land by lot into inheritance, offer a contribution to Yahweh, a set-apart portion of the land, in length 25,000 cubits long, and in width 10,000. This being set apart throughout its border all around. Of this, a square plot is to be for the set-apart place, 500 by 500, with 50 cubits around it for an open space. And from this measure you are to measure 25,000 cubits long and 10,000 wide. And in it is to be the set-apart place, the most set-apart place. This is to be a set-apart portion of the land belonging to the priest, the attendants of the set-apart place who draw near to serve Yahweh. And it shall be a place for their house, and set-apart ground for the set-apart place. And 25,000 cubits in length and 10,000 in width is for the Levites, the attendants of the house. For a possession, 20 rooms. And give the city as possession 5,000 cubits wide and 25,000 long, beside the contribution of the set-apart portion. It belongs to all the house of Israel. And the prince is to have a portion on one side and the other of the set-apart contribution, and of the possession of the city are bordering, and on the set-apart contribution and possession of the city, on the west side westward, and on the east side eastward, and the length alongside one of the portions, and from the west border to the east border. Of the land that is his possession in Israel, and my princes shall no longer oppress my people, and they shall give the land to the house of Israel according to their tribes. Thus said the Master Yahweh. Enough, you princes of Israel. Put away violence and plundering, and do right ruling and righteousness, and stop your evictions of my people, declare the Master Yahweh. Have right scales, and a right ephah, and a right bath. Let the ephah and the bath be of the same measure, so that the bath contains 1/10 of a homer, and that the ephah 1/10 of an omer. Let this measure be according to the omer. And the shekel is 20 gerahs. Your mina is 20 shekels, 25 shekels, 15 shekels. This is the contribution which you present. You shall give 1/6 of an ephah from a homer of wheat, and 1/6 of an ephah from a homer of barley. And the law concerning oil, the bath of oil, is 1/10 of a bath from a kor. A kor is a omer of 10 baths, for 10 baths are omer. Homer. And one lamb from a flock from 200 from the watered pastures of Israel, for grain offerings and for an ascending offering and for peace offerings, to make atonement for them, declares the Master Yahweh. All the people of the land are to give this contribution to the prince in Israel, and on the prince are the ascending offerings and the grain offerings and drink offerings, and at the festival, the new moons, the Sabbaths, and all the appointed times of the house of Israel. He used to prepare the sin offering and the grain offering and the ascending offering and the peace offerings, to make atonement for the house of Israel. Thus said the Master Yahweh, in the first month, on the first of the new moon, you are to take a young bull, a perfect one, and shall cleanse the set-apart place. And the priest shall take some of the blood of the sin offering and put it on the doorposts of the house, on the four corners of the ledge of the slaughter place, and on the post of the gate of the inner courtyard. And do the same on the 7th of the new moon for anyone who makes a mistake or is foolish. and you shall make atonement for the house. In the first month, on the 14th day of the new moon, you have the Pesach, a festival for 7 days. Unleavened bread is eaten. And on that day the prince shall prepare for himself and for all the people of the land a bull for a sin offering. And during the 7 days of the festival he prepares an ascending offering to Yahweh, 7 bulls and 7 rams, perfect ones, daily for 7 days, and a male goat daily for a sin offering. And he prepares a grain offering of 1 ephah for each bull and 1 ephah for each ram, together with a hin of oil for each ephah. In the 7th new moon, on the 15th day of the new moon, at the festival, he prepares like these 7 days. He prepares like these 7 days, as the sin offering, as the ascending offering, as the grain offering, and as the oil. I said it yesterday, I'll say it again. The building instructions are not my favorite. But, we do what we can with what we got while we got it. We're going to read it all. So, I wonder who, the prince is, and is it a different word in Hebrew, and how did they view that? Like how did Israel or the Jews view that? The Yehudim view that? Because obviously prince, in these princes I know, it means the son of the king, right next in line, which as far as the slaughtering goes, that makes a lot of sense. That's kind of cool. I like that. Obviously dad's going to be there because dad did it at one time. Now son does it. But if it was a capital P, I would say that would be Jesus. I don't know. But I do know God is good all the time, and all the time God's good. And tomorrow we're going to do 46, 47, and 48. And then I think we'll be in Daniel. We will. Look at there. Anyway. May Yahweh bless you and guard you. May Yahweh make his face shine upon you and show favor to you. May Yahweh lift up his face upon you and give you peace. Thus they shall put my name on the children of Israel, and I myself shall bless them. Shalom, shalom.